Hi, guys. Okay, peeps. This is the part where all kids in my first and second period, this part is brand new to you. I didn't get this far when we were still at Eagle View. So, everyone ready? The meeting. Now that the manager had gone, I was not particularly alarmed. What better than to be imprisoned in a room full of these splendid ladies? If I ever got to talking to them, I might even suggest that they come and do a bit of cruelty to children prevention at my school. We could certainly use it there. In they came, talking their heads off. They began milling around and choosing their seats, and there was a whole lot of stuff like, "Come and sit next to me, Millie dear," and "Hello, Beatrice. I haven't seen you since the last meeting. What an adorable dress you have on." I decided to stay where I was. Remember where he was, hidden behind the screen? Or through the crack, he can look out to them, but they don't notice he's there. And let them get on with their meeting while I got on with my mouse training. But I watched them for a while longer through the crack in the screen, waiting for them to settle down. How many were there? I guessed about 200. The back rows filled up first. They all seemed to want to sit as far back from the platform as possible. And a platform is like a stage. So in the front of the ballroom, there's a stage, a platform, where the guest speaker will go up. And there's a lot of chairs. And then behind the chairs is the Chinese dragon screen where the narrator, the little boy, is hiding behind. And he said, it's weird. All these women are coming in and they choose the back seats. They don't want to be near the speaker. There was a lady wearing a tiny green hat in the middle of the back row who kept scratching at the nape of her neck. She couldn't leave it alone. It fascinated me, the way her fingers kept scratching away at the hair on the back of her neck. Had she known someone was watching her from behind, I'm sure she would have been quite embarrassed. I wondered if she had dandruff. All of a sudden, I noticed that the lady next to her was doing the same thing. And the next one, and the next. The whole lot of them were doing it. They're all scratching away like mad at the hair on the back of their necks. Did they have fleas in their hair? More likely it was nits. I began to be fascinated by these hair-scratching ladies. It's always funny when you catch someone doing something coarse. It means like a little impolite, and she thinks no one is looking. Nose picking, for example, or scratching her bottom. Hair scratching is very nearly as unattractive, especially if it goes on and on. I decided it had to be nits. Then the most astonishing thing happened. I saw one lady pushing her fingers up underneath the hair on her head, and the hair, the entire head of hair, lifted upwards like this. All in one piece. It lifted right up. It lifted up so her hand slid underneath the hair and went on scratching. She was wearing a wig. She was wearing a wig! I glanced swiftly around at the rest of the now seated audience. Every single lady in the room was wearing gloves. My blood turned to ice. I began to shake all over. I glanced frantically behind me for a back door to the room. Something to escape through, but there wasn't one. Should I leap out from behind the screen and make a dash for the doors? Those double doors were already closed, and I could see one woman standing in front of them. She was bending forward and fixing some kind of metal chain around the two door handles. Keep still, I told myself. No one has seen you yet. There's no reason in the world why anyone should come back to look behind the screen. But one false move, one cough, one sneeze, one nose blow, one little sound of any sort, and it won't just be one witch that gets you. It'll be 200. At that point, I think I fainted. The whole thing was altogether too much for a small boy to cope with. But I don't believe I was out for more than a few seconds. And when I came to, I was lying on the carpet and I was still, thank heavens, behind the screen. There was absolute silence all around me. Rather shakily, I got to my knees and peered out once again through the little crack in the screen. So here's a picture of the little narrator, hidden behind the screen looking through the crack. He passed out because he was so scared when he realized, oh my gosh, I accidentally stumbled upon the secret witches meeting. Remember, Grandmama had said, every country in the world has one secret witch meeting each year where all the women witches in that country gather together. Do you remember who's supposed to talk at each meeting? the Grand High Witch. So the Grand High Witch is going to come and talk to all the witches in England. And here's this little boy stuck in the room with them. There's a chain on the door. He can't escape. What's going to happen next? I guess you'll have to watch the next video to find out.